Well, we determined the mystery motor was a 429. We went through it in a previous video. If you haven't seen that, go back and check it out. Today, we get rid of all the generic black and we paint the engine. Let's get into that.
I'd say it's a nut job.
So the first thing we're going to do is plug a few holes and cover the valley because at the end of the day, this is just going in a driver car, not a show car. And all we're trying to do is just honestly get rid of the black and make it the proper Ford blue. Now, I'm going to cover the valley pan, keep everything out of there. And I'm going to show you guys just a down and dirty way to paint an engine when you're not trying to get show car results or anything. Just get it done. And there's a couple of different ways you can do it. I'm going to show you a few different ways that I use. Now, technically, I like to paint them piece by piece when you're building the engine. Paint the block separate, paint the head separate, paint this separate, paint that separate, and then assemble it, and it looks clean. We don't have an option here. This is a fresh engine. There's no reason for us to take it back apart just to make it look not black. So let's just get into that part. So first thing I'm going to do is just pull off a piece of this paper. This is actually paper you get at Lowe's for when you're doing some house painting and you just want to cover stuff up. It's just brown paper, like packaging paper or something. Works perfect for this kind of stuff. I'll kind of get it in here. Now, I'm not pulling the distributor out because we're changing the distributor. We've got an MSD distributor. I'm going to leave these valve covers on to cover the rockers because we're changing the valve covers. We're changing the oil pan. We're changing all these parts, so I don't care if they get overspray on them. So those things do not matter. Now, on this side, before I ran a painter's tape, I taped all the exhaust holes off. You'll see what I've done on the other side when we roll it over. I'm going to go in here. The paint on these freeze plugs where somebody painted everything together, it's kind of flaky. So I'm going to go in there and scrape that out real good. Leave the old spark plugs in. That covers your plug holes. We're going to change them. Don't worry about the valve covers. We're going to change them. All that stuff doesn't matter. So now I like to prime the engine first and use a good primer. It helps the paint adhere and it helps a smooth paint job come out. Even when you're doing a rush job like this and just trying to get one color, it'll still come out looking pretty nice. I am going to put on my breathing protection because I do like my lungs. They're mine. I tend to like them. Get a good coat of primer on it. Again, we're changing the oil pan, so we don't care about the oil pan. It also has the wrong dipstick in it, so we're not worried about the dipstick either. All that is mainly just to plug holes with. So we're getting a light coat and then go to a medium coat of primer. Now when I switch to this side, I just shoved paper up in the ports.
Again, just keeping paint out there. We're changing the oil. Oil filter doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead for safety's sake because we don't know. Put a new fuel pump on it. That doesn't matter. Let's just get paint on it.
So after this tacks up for a couple of minutes, we'll come back and start putting our color on it. I am going to throw a couple of bolts in these valve covers so they don't fall off in the middle of painting. They're kind of flopping around. Again, don't worry about every little thing when it's just a driver. If it's show car, we would do this a completely different way. Much like we did the 416 we sent to Florida. Every little piece was painted individually. In this case, a lot of this stuff is changing anyway. Like we're putting new plugs in it, so it doesn't matter. Use the plugs, plug a hole instead of spending money on stuff. Distributor's changing, it plugs a hole. This is changing, it plugs a hole. The oil pan's changing, valve covers, all that stuff's changing, so it just plugs a hole for us. All the bolt holes, you're going to run a tap through them anyway, so don't waste your time trying to cover every little bolt hole. You're going to run a tap through them anyway before you put it in the car. So this is just the down and dirty, quick way of doing things. But just because you're doing it down and dirty and quick doesn't mean you can't get a good result. And that's what I'm going to show you today. All right, so it's time to put color on it. We're going to use the old Ford blue, the dark blue, and start laying coats on here. Light coats over light coat over light coat till we get it covered, and then we'll lay a heavy coat on it. Put your lung protection on when you do this. All right, so now we have a proper Ford blue engine. And I'm going to say it again because somebody at some point inevitably is going to make the comment about getting paint on something. The only thing we're actually using on this is a freshly built motor, but the only thing we're actually using on this is the long block, basically. The pulleys will be changed. The distributors changed. Are going to be changed. The valve covers, of course, the spark plugs, the oil pan, all this stuff is being changed. Even the dipstick, it's all being changed. So I'm using this as a cheap way to plug all the holes. It's just that simple. This is just a down and dirty kind of, let's get rid of the black and make it the proper blue, because the car that the gentleman's putting this engine in, if you want to know the story behind this motor, go back and watch the video. It's titled something like Mystery Engine, What Is It, or something like that. And we deduced that this is a 429. It is absolutely freshly built. So there's never even been a drop of oil put in it. So it was being built to go into a truck. He's going to put it into a Mustang. So everything, in the configuration is going to be different. He's adding air conditioning, power steering, and all kind of things. It's going to cover a lot of this in the front anyway. It's going to be different pulleys. So all this stuff is going away. So instead of spending a fortune in tape and paper and all these other things, just leave the old junk on it and use it to plug the holes and paint the stuff. Now we got one more step. We're letting this flash off for a second. And then we got one more step that's really, really, really going to make a difference on this thing. So we got to let this cure for a minute, and we'll be right back with that. Okay, so the paint's pretty close to dry. It's just barely tacky. Now we're going to hit it with some gloss clear, some high gloss clear, and lay it to it so that this engine looks just extremely nice, hopefully for years to come. Protect some of this paint as well. So let's get in here and hit this thing with some gloss and really make this thing look nice. Now I'm going to give that some good dry time to where it's almost dead nuts dry. And then I'm going to lay another coat of clear on it. And that engine should look just phenomenal in the light at any point in time. So my point of this whole thing is you don't have to go, even though I consider it the proper way to paint one is for it to be completely disassembled and paint each piece individually. This is just to show you you can get a very nice looking job on an engine done and not spend all of that time. If you've got an engine already in a vehicle and you're changing stuff on it anyway, anything you're not going to change, take off of it or tape up. Anything you are going to change, use it to plug a hole so you can go quicker. And you can shoot an engine like this inside a vehicle and have it look phenomenal. When you put it back together, it'll look like it's $1 million. Now we're waiting on aluminum intake to come for it. We're probably putting an Edelbrock Performer on it just because of hood clearance, and that will clear the hood. So it's going to have an aluminum intake. I'm not sure what valve covers it's going to use yet, but we do have an MSD distributor coming, and we already have the oil pan for it. So with that being said, at some point in time when the intake comes, we're going to strip all this other stuff off here, go ahead with the plugs and all that stuff, strip all that off, and get this thing dialed in on the look and ready to go into his 69 Mustang. You can't tell me that ain't gonna look like $1 million sitting down inside the engine bay of that Mustang. Once we change all the other stuff. Let's face it, this is kind of the look you're going to get anyway, because once it's down in that thing, all you're going to see is the tops of the exhaust ports over here and here. And you're going to see, you probably won't even see much of the front up here because all the accessories that's going to be on it. But we know she looks like $1 million there once it's all dressed out with new parts. Honestly and truly, there's no reason not to have a decent looking engine in a vehicle. Because it doesn't cost you much of anything other than time. I have 2 cans of paint invested in this. Not even 2 cans. I mean, I've got leftover paint of all 3 things. The clear was left over from 2 projects ago. I've used that clear on now 3 engines. The primer I bought and the dark Ford blue I bought because I was out of both of those. So if you imply, or if you figured in the cost of both of those cans, even though both those cans will paint another engine, I've got about $20 in making this thing look absolutely phenomenal. There you go, a down and dirty, quick way to make an engine look a lot better than just a black lump of coal under your hood. A couple of housekeeping things here, guys. Remember to please like, share, comment, do those things. It helps these videos tremendously. Also, we do have a second channel now. It's called Frizzell Outdoors. There's only one video over there at the time I recorded this. And that channel is for everything that's not racing related. You know, we do a lot of road trips in these old cars, and we go to a lot of covered bridges. My wife loves covered bridges. I like to fish. Just a lot of things like that. Historical sites, you know, battlegrounds and things, all those kind of things. We do a lot of that. And it doesn't really fit with the Frizzell Racing channel. Now, there has been a lot of videos on here where we will drive something somewhere and we will include those sites or whatever into that video. But I feel like that's not everybody's cup of tea here, so we now have divided those out. Everything car related will be on this channel. Everything non-car related will be on that channel. So if you have a moment, please go over to Frizzell Outdoors. Give it a subscribe. Help that channel grow the way that you guys have done this channel. And there's just one video up over right now, us fishing a new spot that I've never even seen before. So there you go. I hope the Lord blesses you more today than He did yesterday. To Him be the glory. Guys, thank you so much for those who like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those who have decided to join the 99-cent club and help support us that way. The next time, it's going to be a while before you see this engine again. Quite honestly, this was done because the weather has been so terrible lately that I haven't been able to do any content with the cars just because the weather has been so terrible. It's raining out there right now. And we need to test drive the wagon, drive it around some, do these things that really there's no reason to make a video about. So we more or less done this to get you some content out there so you guys could see something. Hopefully this inspires you just to go out there and paint your engine, make your engine bay look clean and nice. There's nothing to me that looks better than when you raise the hood, the engine bay is just crisp and clean. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And guys, we will see you on the next one.
I'd say he's a nut job.